A wood chip boiler can be an excellent source of renewable energy for larger buildings like the shooting lodge at Alvey. I went to visit Jamie and Catherine to ask how it works for them. Well, we're here today just for you to take us round and hopefully show us your wood chip boiler and the processes.
Right.
That'd be fantastic.
Okay, well what I suggest we do is we start showing you the production of the chips.
Great.
And then we'll move on to the boiler, so we'll go from production to consumption.
So the timber you're taking us up to, is that timber that's been in for, is it its natural felling time? Is it
We're really the, what I'd call the scavengers of the forestry world. What we're doing is we're taking thinnings, first and second thinnings.
Yep.
We're taking wood which is being left out of specification. So what we've got here, as I say, is about 2,000 cubic meters felled last summer. We're buying in at the moment also a certain amount, and we'll try keep a stock so that we've always got something like 2,000 cubic meters drying either here from our own woods or from what's been bought in. When these were felled, moisture content is somewhere around 55 to 60%. If we can leave it for 18 months, it drops down in the summer to, it's probably between 20 and 25% moisture content. We will then chip it when it's below 30%. And store it in a shed where it won't reabsorb hopefully, any moisture. We'll go down and have a look at the shed.
Great.
This shed was actually only completed in February, and then Andy's just started chipping this week. So he does approximately 10 cubic meters an hour in chipping. What we've got behind us is a delivery trailer. And though we've got an underground hopper at Alvey House, a lot of the people we're delivering to have overground hoppers.
Right.
So that can be filled up, reverse up, go up 3 meters, and then tip.
So how does that compare then with pellets?
Chips have the advantage that it's got the least energy input to produce your fuel, and therefore it should be a slightly cheaper price per kilowatt hour of heat. It has the disadvantage that if you're transporting it a long distance, it's bulky, and therefore you need a larger volume per kilowatt hour of heat. So chips are ideal for delivery locally. From our point of view, it's great because we're taking the wood within 10-15 miles away. All our customers are within 10 or 15 miles away, and it needs the least energy. And we're now diversifying. We're now supplying a local primary school, secondary school in Canusi, an old folks home. We're supplying offices in Aviemore, Already Holiday Park. I hope to be the wood chip baron of Badenoch, but that's in the future. We've started. The whole estate could be self-sufficient, both in biomass. We're looking at putting in a hydro scheme. We're looking at wind turbines. We hope within 3 to 4 years that we'll be a net exporter of energy. This house, which is a family home, but it's slightly bigger than the average family home. It's 44 beds, 18 bathrooms, listed building, so there's no double glazing. We were going through 58,000 litres of oil a year, which in about 2000 cost me about £4,500. If I'd continued on last year, it would have cost me over £33,000 to heat the place. I mean, most people will have a fancy hopper with hydraulic roof. This is actually just rollers and a winch that we winch stags up in the larder. There's 3 paddles that go round, and they're geared to the auger. You can see the auger going through there. And when there's demand, and it needs a bit more heat, the paddles will move round and push the chips onto the auger.
How often do you have to fill the hopper?
During the summertime, we're probably putting a tractor trailer load, which is 13 cubic meters, in about once a week. And during the winter, we're probably filling it twice a week.
Yeah, so I mean, we're talking about sort of 13 cubic metres. What is the cost of that then if you were selling that as chips on the open market just now?
At the moment, it's coming in at about £16 a cubic metre, and we're doing 13 cubic metres at a time. So our costs last year could have been £10,000 to £12,000 for heating the house.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things we've been talking to Jamie quite a lot today, Catherine, but you are sort of probably the financial side of the house when it comes to running the house.
Yes.
That seems like a big saving when Jamie's talking about comparing what you have now to what you had in the past.
Oh, this system has really saved a lot of money, and it's also much more efficient. The house is warmer for longer, whereas with the oil boiler it would go off at 10 o'clock. There seems to be so much excess hot water in the system. In fact, there are sometimes I keep saying, you sure there's something wrong, because the radiators are still hot and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And there is, it produces a huge amount of hot water. I couldn't believe that it was going to work. I had this idea originally of a woodchip boiler, some man feeding it, and it was going to be so labour intensive, and I just imagined this huge thing. And I can't believe that when you look at the boiler later on and you'll see this little glow, I can't believe that it's actually producing that amount of hot water and heating, because I imagine sort of big flames and big lots of wood going in, but it's quite a simple system.
Yep. I mean, what we've been hearing a lot today is a lot of positives. Has there been anything that you would say would put you off?
I suppose the only disadvantage, I go down there and it looks like something out of Star Trek, and whereas before I had an on-off timed. And I keep saying you must teach, but there's enough people here know how to work the system that it's, I don't need to.
Come and see my boiler.
This is the exciting technical.
This is what I'd call the sort of Morris Minor of the woodchip boilers. What happens here is the chips come up an auger, which is
That's what we saw
rotating there, and they come up here. They drop down through what they call a drop cell feeder, which is it just means that air can't go back. What they're worried about is it burning all the way back
and going into your hopper.
Into the hopper and starting burning the chips in the hopper.
Yep.
So it's an airtight seal there.
Yep.
If the thing does burn back for whatever reason, very simple. All we've done is we've just connected our water supply onto a pipe down here, and that's a thermostatic thing.
So you feel the temperature.
So if the temperature gets too high, it just puts water into it. This is a boiler, and at the moment it's on idle. What I'll do in a minute is rev it up, and when there's demand, more chips come in, air blows in, and within a few minutes the thing goes from there to quite a hot temperature. Putting a few chips in. Shut the thing out. It's suddenly gone to 100%, and within a minute or two that will be going to full capacity. This is the ash.
I like this.
I empty that about every 2 weeks. During the winter, or if it's not running quite efficiently, I might be emptying it up to once a day. It's 0.02% it's supposed to be of the volume that goes in. It's fairly small. Yeah. The boiler itself, mechanism, was about £17,000, but by the time we'd changed all the plumbing round and built the hoppers, the total cost was in the region of £80,000, of which we got a 50% grant.
This is the size of the baths. So, and when we do weddings and things like that, we use an awful lot of hot water for washing up. So,
I can imagine.
And if it does tend to get a bit cold, because say we're washing up at lunchtime and it's been on idle, I'll just say to Jamie, "Oh, we need a bit more hot water," and he'll just go and press the switch and we get hot water. It's good. Yeah.
It just feels so much warmer.
There is so much excess hot water that it's running around all the pipes and just is keeping it warm. If you feel that there now, that isn't a heating system, that's the hot water just running through the house.
Insulation, is that something that you've had to upgrade because we spoke earlier on about being an old house, listed building, windows haven't got double glazing. Was there anything that you did when you were speccing up the house with the new system? Or?
No, nothing at all. With it being a listed building, you can't put double glazing in. The only thing I have done is when I've renewed the library curtains, they've got sort of wool lining, so they're very big, heavy curtains.
So all in all, what we're saying today is that you are very happy with your wood chip system.
Yes, yes, absolutely. It's been tremendous saving.
There's a case study which shows payback times for Jamie's system on the Use Green Heat website listed on this page. It also shows the effect of the renewable heat incentive the government aims to introduce in April 2011.